Alright, so this is our hand reference I found online, and I'm going to start to draw out some basic shapes to separate the palm of the hand from the fingers. So basic shape that we need to start off with is going to be a polygon cube, and I'm going to be actually using a grease pencil tool, so that's the reason why it looks kind of cruddy. And we have to add insert edge loop tools right there for the individual fingers. And then let's see here. Alright, so let's start off by using polygon cube. Create polyprimitives cube. I'm going to start off with the fingers first. I'll hold shift to create that shape. We're going to start off with the tip of the finger. And I'm actually going to smooth this out, so mesh, smooth. Select the faces right here and delete them. Select this edge, Control E, I'll press W and move that down, and I'm going to select these vertices, scale them wider, select those top vertices here, move them over, try to align it with this image. Alright. Now before I move forward, I need to establish the side view of this hand. So let me select this image plane. Let's go to object mode in this guy, and now I can select the image plane. And there we go. Let's move this over here. Okay, so that's the finger. And since we don't have a, actually let's take this guy, move it over to here, and I'll move it down to try to align it. Go to vertex, select that half of the vertices, move into the right, select those vertices there, try to get it to align a little more. There we go. And alright, that looks good. So that's the tip of the finger. Go back into my front view. So it looks like it might be a little bit off. I'm going to use this particular image to get everything aligned. Alright, so I'll double click this edge, Control E, move it down, right here, Control E again, press W, move it down here, Control E, press W, move it down there, and I'll double click on this edge, press R, I'll scale it down so it matches the width of that. Eventually I'll add more edge loops. Just want to align the knuckles where they're going to be. Press R, scale it wide. Now I'll go into my side view, double click here. That's the knuckle there. Double click here, move this over. Double click there and move that over like that. And it looks like I need to make it wider this way. Like that. Press R, scale it up a little bit more. So double click here. That's the finger. scale it up a little wider. And that last piece, scale it up wider. Okay. Alright, so this is what we have so far. It's really basic. And we're going to add a little bit more shape to the width of the finger. So I'm going to add my insert edge loop tool. So mesh tools, insert edge loop. I'll add an edge loop here. I'll press R, scale it wide. I'll go to my side view, press R, I'll scale it up a little more. Actually move it closer to the knuckle. Press Y, which is repeat previous command. Press R, scale that one down so we can have the definition of the knuckle. Double click here, go into my side view, move this over, press R, scale it like this, and we got one more that we're working on. I'll press Y, it's like this guy here, press R, and I'll scale it a little wider. Actually, it's press Y, I'll select this one here, and I'll select that and make it a little bit wider than the knuckle. Go to my side view, or the front view, and I'm going to go to vertex mode and select that vertex and move it in. So this will represent the fatty part of the finger. I'll select that part since it's the knuckle, bring it in like that, and I'd select these two as well. Do the same thing up here. I'll select these two and move them down just a little bit. Select those two, move those guys down, and there we go. This is a really basic finger shape. I'm going to select the top edge actually and bring these guys closer to the finger. Let's go into perspective view. I'll press F. I know at the top of the finger where the fingernail is should be flat, so I'm just going to select these two actually. Move them in. There you go. And I'll add another edge loop here. So mesh tools, insert edge loop, and put one right there. Go to face, select these faces here. This is going to be the fingernail. Press Control E, change the offset. Maybe the value could be 0.1. And let's see here. Now go to Control Vertex. Start to move these vertices around to form the shape of the fingernail. You can do the fingernail now, or you can do it later. If you want to use a texture for the fingernail, then you can always do it like that. And there we go, it's a little bit off. Go into my side view, kind of fix that edge. Now I'll select the faces. And we'll extrude again. I'll bring it up. And I'm thinking probably round off this top edge. And if I press 3, then that's what we get. Right. Okay, sweet. So now what we'll do is press 1. I'll duplicate this finger, Control D, move it to the left. Alright. Take these guys here, move them up, kind of change the shape of that. And the fingernail region is going to be a little bit longer. So do that. Press R, scale it down. So he's trying to use the image as a source of reference. There you go. Take that and move it up. Press R, scale it down. So you're going to repeat this throughout the entire shape. And let's get this guy here. Press R, scale it flat. Do the same thing here. And get that region like this. And there we go. Go to my front view and try to get these guys aligned with the image. Okay. Alright. I'm going to try to change the nail shape up just a little bit more. Let's actually move these guys over here, and I'm going to invert that by changing the scale Z to -1. Let's see here. I'll select this guy, change the scale Z to -1. I rotated just a little bit. Probably should have started off with this particular image. Let's just take that control vertex and I'm just going to realign it. There we go. The knuckle region, I'll scale it up a little wider. W. Let's do that. Alright. So a lot of this is basically just pushing, pulling on vertices until you get this to be aligned. The good thing with having an image plane is that if I press 4, I still could see the reference image behind it. And so this actually will help me get a better rendition of the fingernail. Press 5, press 4, bring that guy here. These guys over. just a tad bit. This moves over. Okay, that looks good. That looks good. Now I'll take this guy, same exact thing. These guys to conform. And this inner edge represents a fingernail. So I'm always pressing 4 and 5 to kind of see the reference image. That's the edge of the fingernail. Speed that up. And right there, that a little bit closer. Alright. Let's do this. This is the knuckle region right there. Alright. These three should be right there. Press R to scale it a little bit wider. Move this right here to the narrow part of the knuckle. That's the thickest part of the knuckle there. And there we go. I think this index finger, pointer finger, let's move that there. And let's put that right in the center of the knuckle. Scale it down, and there we go. Perfect. I think we need to move these guys up too. All right, perfect. Like this guy, Control D, move it over. I'll scale it down just a little bit. Go to the fingernail region. Do this. Move this over. Edge of the fingernail. It's like these guys moving over here. Press 4 to make sure I'm only selecting that part of the fingernail. That's the center of the finger. That's the edge of my fingernail. So this region here. Over. That should be there. Move this guy over. Alright. Happy with that. Take the knuckle region. Press R to scale it down. Press 5. It's like these guys here. 4, scale them to do the width. almost finished. And that's the base part. Okay. I'll take the next part of the knuckle, scale them flat. W, move them over. Press R. And that's the center of the knuckle. Press R, scale it Y. So it's just repeating the same process. Press W. I don't want the fingers to be so close together that I can't merge them together. So I'm trying to keep a little bit of separation between. Okay. And let's run this here. Alright. And then last but not least, we'll control, let's select that vertex. See, it's a little bit off. Scale it down. And scale this a bit wider. And select that one. Control D. Down. Scale it down a little bit. Start off with the fingernail. Just 5. It's like the tip of the fingernail. And it's exactly where I want it to be. Those 3 should be at the edge of the finger. Those 3 should be at the edge here. That's the tip of the fingernail. That is, press 5. That's that part of the fingernail. 4. Here. There. Press 5. And select that region. Alright. Press 5. Kind of move them over. Press 4. And almost finished with that region. Here. Select there. And make those wider. Almost finished. This part, scale it wider. So that's all we're doing from the side view. We made sure that the fingers look good from the front view, but again, we'll go back and double check that. Alright. Press F, and there we go. So there's our fingers. Pretty happy with those. What we can do for the thumb is take the index finger let's see, I think I want to change that shape up just a little bit. That. Let's fix that finger. It's fine. Alright, that's that little fatty tissue of the finger. It's fine. And let's click that. Control D. Move this over here. And I'm going to use this reference image for the thumb. rotate it, scale it up, scale it down, fat finger, select the edges, double click, press 4. This is the, let's select these guys, bring them down, select that part of the knuckle. Now this is at an angle, so you can change your scale tool and your move tool to be on the object axis orientation. Move this here, press R, scale it a bit wider, press 5 to see what we're doing, double click here, down I'll press 4, press R to scale it wider, and select this whole region of the fingers, scale it up like this. Go to the edge, double click here. We start moving the vertices around. So let's move this guy here, take these, move them underneath the fingernail region. And then I'll press 5 to see what I'm doing. Alright, that's the bottom part of the fingernail. Move this guy here. Move this here. Move that right there. Press 5. That part of your thumb. 4 to see what I'm doing. This is the top part of the fingernail. Let's move that here. It's fine. Let's do this. That's 5. That's 4. Let's move this guy over here. Like that region. Again, this is just pushing and pulling on vertices. Press 5, like that. Moves over. Press 5. Press 4. So almost finished with the thumb. And when we're finished with the thumb, everything else will come a bit easier. The palm is, definitely going to be a little bit of work. Zoom in. It's like that region of the fingernail. Press 4. Move it here. 5. Press 4. There we go. And try to get these guys to align a little more. Press 5. There we go. And now we just need to select the edges. Press R, scale them down. Press W, move it here. Same thing with this. Press R, scale it this way. W, move it here. Same thing here. And then last but not least, and we'll do this. So press 5, and there's the thumb. Press F, my viewport. Now, we definitely need to change the front part of the thumb because it's a little bit off. So let's go back into our side view. I'll move this guy over here, and I'm just going to rotate it. Like that. Press W, move it here, and I think I'm just like that edge and scale it down. Scale it down. And scale it down. There we go. Alright. Rotate it back. and try to get it at the same angle. Okay, so now this is, we have our fingers and we need to connect them. So I'm change my move tool back to world, go back to my view here, move it up, and we need to add a little bit of space between the fingers. Alright, we're going to combine all of our fingers together. So it's like these. Go to mesh, combine, and now we need to connect these together. So we go to mesh tools, or pin and polygon tool, and I'm going to click on this edge, and let's see here. Let's connect that. And we'll connect those two. But before that, I'm actually going to back up really quick and add a slight rotation to this pinky. Okay. So now I'll highlight all of them again. Mesh, combine. And okay. Let's go back to the pin and polygon tool. Here and here. Press Y, repeat the previous command. There we go. Y, repeat the previous command. I'll select these two together. Those two. And then we need to connect here. Where's that? Let's see. I think I need to rotate the thumb since it's already connected to everything else. Just kind of go back to mesh separate. I'll select that thumb, modify center pivot, and I'll rotate it just a little bit. And move it out. And then select this edge and kind of move it up like that. And I want to connect these two faces together, here and here, here and there. Let's go back to mesh, combine. Mesh tool, a pin and polygon. And let's go here, there, and then here and here. Perfect. We're going to give this part of our thumb and in between our fingers a bit more curvature. So let's kind of do that. Let's do this. I'll select this entire region, control to deselect that, and move our thumb over in place. You might have to modify this a little bit. All right. And then I'm going to add an insert edgeloop tool between the fingers, but I want to kind of curve the geometry to match our image as close as I can. Let's do that. Kind of curve this. And then after we curve that, going to use the Insert Edgeloop tool right between here. I forgot to use the Pin to Polygon tool right here. Just go to Mesh Tools, Insert Edgeloop. I'll select an edge loop right there. I'll press W and I'll move it down. Press Y to repeat the previous command. I'll move that down. Press Y to repeat the previous command. I'll move this down. So now we have this nice curve. Go to Vertex. I'll highlight these vertices here. Kind of move them up. So it gives me a nice curve. I use the Insert Edgeloop tool here and there. So this allows me to curve that part of our thumb. And now, the next part is to take the outermost edges, extrude them down. So I'm going to select all of these edges here, extrude them down 1, 2, 3 times. So let me double click. I'll press Control to deselect that. Control E, I'll move it down here. Press R to scale it a little wider. Control E one more time. Scale it down. And this is going to be our knuckle region. Control E and one more time. And I'm going to start to flatten this. So it's like all of these. Press R. Flatten this. I'll eventually make this a curve shape. It's like that region here. Press R, flatten this. We'll eventually curve that. This is the bottom part of your hand. Bring that in. Alright, so now I need to connect these two. So actually here, I'll hold V, snap there, it's like this, hold V, snap here, so that, hold V, snap here, and then I will select here, hold V, snap, snap, and last one. Now we actually need to merge these, so just highlight the whole region, edit mesh, merge. So now when I select face and double click, everything's connected. Select this region here, actually these vertices. I go to my front view and start to add a little more curvature. There we go. Kind of round this section off of the hand. That. Let's move this down, those vertices down like that. And now we can select these vertices. I'll press 4, press 5, and there we go. I'll select the entire edge loop down here. Control E, W, and move it down. Press R to flatten it like this. Scale it down like that. I'll press G one more time, move it down, form the wrist, press R, flatten it like this. We can, one more time with that edge loop. R, scale it out. Press G one more time. That's the wrist. G one more time, bring it down. And let's extrude one more time and bring it down here. R, scale it this way. So now we can select this hand. And we rotate it here. Press E, hold J, rotate it. So I could take the thumb region and start to, say, select those faces here. Those faces selected, I'm going to grow that selection. So if I press and hold Shift and then period, it will grow that selection like that. And now in this view, I'll press E, press W, and I'll move it here and rotate like so. And now we can really start to work on like the palm. All right, maybe we rotate it forward a little more. I could select obviously that vertex, move it here. Select this vertex, move it there, so it starts to form a nice, somewhat round shape. Like that. If I press 3, it'll eventually round off. That. Press 1. Like form. It's like these guys. These two vertices. Round off the palm region. This as well. Move these guys up. Move that here. So I'm looking at this edge loop here and slowly trying to form a round shape so it doesn't feel so flat. Alright. Move this out. It's going to move this down. I'm trying to look for what we call nice edge flow. Probably go to this perspective, press 4 to really see what I'm doing. Press 5. It's like that vertex. Move it here. It's like this one. Move it there. So I'm slowly like curving that, like palm. Let me select so it's coming along. If I select this guy, maybe move it over here and then rotate it towards me. Press W and try to get it as lined as close as I can. Maybe I'll select this whole region, move it over. It feels a little awkward. Looks a little off. And we can press 4 and again just kind of continue to sculpt. But this is a base hand. And just depending on like how much time you really want to spend on sculpting the hand and refining the edges, I'm happy with this. you could take this into Mudbox or any other software to add a higher level of detail, wrinkles, veins, things like that, or you can solely rely on your uh, textures to do that for you. So yeah, that's pretty much basic shape of a hand. And then from here, you obviously connect the. This area is not complete, but you would connect the character's arm to the hand. I would create the arm separate, and depending on like the number of faces that you have from the arm, I would delete maybe like every other edge here, um, and then like combine vertices, like merge the center. So you create this quad, and it really helps you um, out with the arm region. I know you might have like a low poly arm, and this hand is extremely high poly. So, like I said, find like these regions where there's a dense level of edges. Go to Edit Mesh, Merge to Center, and then you can delete like that edge, and then you've got like this quad here, and that's how you can combine everything together. So I hope this helps you in your creation of a